Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered about the stars, the moon, or even planets? What if someone told you that the Earth was the center of everything, and the sun, moon, and all the stars just spun around us? For a very long time, that's exactly what almost everyone believed. But one amazing person, with a super curious mind and a special tool, changed the way we look at our universe forever. His name was Galileo Galilei, and he lived a long, long time ago in Italy. Over 400 years ago, he was a brilliant scientist, an astronomer, a mathematician, and an inventor all rolled into one. People sometimes call him the father of modern science because he showed us a new way to learn about the world. Instead of just guessing or believing old stories, Galileo taught us to observe things very carefully, to experiment, and to use tools to help our eyes see further and our minds understand better. He was like a super detective of the universe. Galileo didn't invent the telescope, but he heard about a new invention from Holland that could make faraway things look closer. He was so excited, he didn't just buy one. He figured out how it worked and then made his own much better version. Imagine holding a tube with special glass lenses that could magnify things up to 30 times. Before Galileo, telescopes were mostly used by sailors to spot ships in the distance. But Galileo had a much grander idea. He pointed his amazing new tool at something nobody had truly explored before with such clarity, the night sky. When Galileo looked at the moon through his improved telescope, he saw something incredible. People used to think the moon was a perfectly smooth, shiny ball, like a polished pearl. But Galileo saw bumps and dips, tall mountains with long shadows, and deep craters, just like the mountains and valleys here on Earth. He drew detailed pictures of what he saw, showing everyone that the moon wasn't a perfect, smooth orb, but a rocky world, just like ours, with its own landscapes. This was a big surprise. Then he turned his telescope to Jupiter, one of the biggest planets in our solar system. Night after night, he watched it. And what did he see? 4 tiny bright dots dancing around Jupiter. At first, he thought they were just stars very close to the giant planet. But as he watched them move night after night, he realized something astonishing. They weren't just stars floating by chance. They were small moons orbiting Jupiter. Can you imagine how exciting that must have been? This was a huge discovery because it showed that not everything in the universe orbited the Earth. If Jupiter had moons orbiting it, then maybe the Earth wasn't the absolute center of everything after all. It opened up a whole new way of thinking about how planets move. Galileo also looked at Venus, the super bright morning star or evening star. Through his telescope, he saw that Venus had phases. Just like our moon does sometimes, it was a thin crescent, sometimes half, sometimes almost full. Why was this so important? Because it perfectly matched the idea that Venus was orbiting the Sun, not the Earth. If Venus orbited the Earth, it wouldn't show all those different phases in the way Galileo observed them. This was more strong proof that the Sun, not the Earth, was at the center of our solar system, with planets like Earth and Venus revolving around it. This idea was called the heliocentric model, meaning sun-centered. Galileo even looked at the Sun, though this was very dangerous for his eyes and could damage them. He saw dark spots on the Sun, which we now call sunspots, and he noticed they moved across the Sun's surface, showing that the Sun itself was spinning, just like Earth. Galileo's discoveries were truly revolutionary. They completely changed how people understood their place in the universe. Before Galileo, people often relied on very old ideas about how the world worked, even if those ideas didn't perfectly match what they could see. But Galileo taught us the importance of observation and evidence. He bravely used what he saw through his telescope to challenge those old ideas, even when many powerful people didn't like it. He showed us the power of curiosity and careful looking, and the courage to believe in what the evidence tells you. Think about it. Before Galileo, people only knew what they could see with their own eyes or with very simple tools. But he showed us that with new inventions and smart thinking, we can see things we never imagined and learn amazing new facts. His work paved the way for all the astronauts, powerful telescopes like the Hubble Space Telescope, and space probes we have today, helping us explore distant planets, galaxies, and even the very edge of the universe. Every time you see a picture of Jupiter's swirling clouds with its 4 bright moons, or the beautiful phases of Venus, you're seeing something that Galileo was one of the first humans to truly understand and explain. He also studied how things move here on Earth. He did famous experiments, some in his mind, and some actually trying them out, about how objects fall. He showed that objects fall at the same speed, no matter how heavy they are, if you take away things like air pushing against them. Imagine dropping a feather and a bowling ball at the same time in a vacuum. They'd hit the ground together. He also studied pendulums, the swinging weights that make clocks tick. His ideas about motion were super important for understanding how things move here on Earth and even how planets move in space. Galileo teaches us that it's important to be curious and to ask questions. Don't just accept everything you hear. Look for evidence and try to understand things for yourself. He wasn't afraid to think differently and to trust what he saw with his own eyes, even if it went against what everyone else believed. He showed us that science is about observing, experimenting, and always trying to understand the world better. So, the next time you look at the sky, remember Galileo and keep exploring, keep asking why, and keep wondering about the amazing universe around us. What other amazing scientists, explorers, or cool animals do you want to learn about? Tell us in the comments below.